Well, good evening, Lupus warriors and survivors all around the world. Welcome to another video brought to you by the Lord's Lupus and Support channel. Hello, hello, hello. I hope this video finds you all doing very well on tonight. Tonight's video, we're going to talk about a very important topic. We're going to discuss lupus and depression. As we know, one of the symptoms of lupus is depression. And even if you had never experienced depression before, just a diagnosis of lupus or any type of chronic or terminal illness can cause a person to experience symptoms of depression. Studies have shown that between 2021 until the present 2023, that diagnosis of clinical depression and people reporting feeling symptoms of depression has skyrocketed. There are more people out there now reporting feelings of depression than ever before. It's like depression has become the new epidemic. It has become the new pandemic. And, you know, the symptoms of depression can be caused by so many things and for so many reasons. And one of the reasons is a chronic illness. Another reason, tragedy, trauma, a national disaster, what we just came out of, the pandemic, Even though we have all of this social media and, different ways to be connected, our cell phones and video calls and everything, reports and studies show that people feel more isolated than ever before. But on tonight, we're going to talk about that there are 7 lifestyle factors that can determine whether a person will or will not experience depression. With these 7 lifestyle factors, we will also talk about ways that we can tweak and make some changes in these factors to decrease our chances of developing depression. Or if we are experiencing depression, decrease our chances, decrease the symptoms of our depression. So we're going to talk about that on tonight. Before we get into those 7, lifestyle factors, why don't you take a moment to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so that you receive notifications whenever I upload a new video. Also, share this video. You never know who needs it out there. And also leave a comment in the comment section if you feel led to do so. And so with depression, depression is not just a few days of feeling sad or blue or having a low mood for a few days. Depression is a deep, deep sadness that grips the soul. Depression can be a very, I want to say it goes beyond just feeling sad, It's beyond sadness. And depression symptoms can last anywhere from a few weeks to a few months to a few years. And so just a disclaimer, the information that I'm going to provide tonight is for educational and informational purposes only. If you are experiencing symptoms of depression, please reach out and talk to someone, a medical professional, your primary care, psychologist, psychiatrist, a therapist, a health coach. Talk to someone. Don't keep those feelings bottled up. And don't feel like, you're the only one or that you have to go through this alone. There are people out there that's willing to help you if you are experiencing depression. On this channel, we do not diagnose. I just provide information for informational purposes and educational purposes. But if you are experiencing any symptoms of depression, please reach out and speak to someone. There are people available to help you and can walk you through this. You can make it through depression. You don't have to stay there, okay? And so on tonight, these 7 lifestyle factors that we're going to discuss, they can impact how we think and how we feel. So basically, these lifestyle factors, depending on, which way we go with them, They impact our mood, how we feel, how we think. But studies show that just making a few positive changes in these lifestyle factors can greatly decrease your chances of developing depression or even lower your symptoms of depression. And so just to make sure that I give fair credit where fair credit is due, the information that I'm providing tonight is coming from an article entitled 7 Healthy Habits That Can Help Reduce Your Depression Risk. And this article was published in the online Healthline medical journal. And it was written by Gigen Mammoser on September the 15th, 2023. So it is a very recent article. So let's list those 7 factors, and then let's break it down and talk about each one individually. The first factor is smoking. That's a lifestyle factor. Number 2 is diet. The third lifestyle factor is exercise. The fourth one is sleep. The fifth one is sedentary behavior. Number 6 is social connectedness. Number 7 is alcohol consumption. And so what does all these lifestyle factors, how can they impact how we think, how we feel? How can they either increase our risk for depression or decrease our risk for depression? So let's talk about it. Okay. Number 1, smoking. Did you know that quitting smoking decreases your chances of developing depression? Quitting smoking. Number 2, diet. It's been long said that we are what we eat. And there's tons and tons of studies out there that correlate the diet with, our mood, or the diet and depression, So what we eat not only impacts us physically, but it impacts us emotionally and mentally as well. Did you know that decreasing sugar and salt in your diet and increasing more fruits and vegetables, just making that one healthy tweak, can decrease your risk of developing depression by at least 47%. Number 3, exercise. But before I go on to number 3, I don't know, but it makes me think about, when I think about our diet and eating fruits and vegetables, I can remember, my mom and my grandmother always getting on us as kids, eat your fruits and vegetables. We would eat things. I hated Brussels sprouts when I was a kid, but I love it now. But they always kept getting on us. Eat your fruits and vegetables. Make sure you finish all those fruits and vegetables on your plate. Back in the day, if you didn't finish your Brussels sprouts, you could be sitting at the table all night until you finished them. And even if you went to bed, when you got up the next day, you may have breakfast, but for lunch, you were going to get those Brussels sprouts again. And, they say that we are what we eat. And I truly believe that whatever we eat, our diet expresses itself in so many ways, physically, mentally, and emotionally. But just think about that. Our parents and grandparents were on to something when they would tell us to eat our fruits and vegetables. They may not have been, researchers or medical professionals, but they were on to something. So eat your fruits and vegetables. Number 3, exercise. Did you know that just 10 minutes of exercise per day can have a huge impact on your risk of developing depression? Just 10 minutes of brisk exercise, anything that gets the heart rate up and is sustained for 10 minutes, just a few days a week. 10 minutes equals out to like 4,000 steps per day. I know at one point we were told that we needed to do 10,000 to 15,000 steps a day to make an impact, a healthy impact on our lives. But now it's showing that just 10 minutes, which is like 4,000 steps per day, can have a huge impact on our physical, mental, and emotional health. Physically, it can help us to burn calories, lose weight, but mentally it releases different hormones and chemicals in the brain, such as serotonin and dopamine, those feel-good hormones. Just 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day. Number 4, sleep. Good quality sleep can have a huge impact on your mood, how you feel and how you think. Believe me, try going without, your required hours of sleep for a few days, 3 or 4 days, and you'll see your mood go from here to here. So, our sleep hygiene, has a big impact on how we feel, how we think. Um, you know, Studies show that a lack of sleep can not only impact you physically, not only impact your mood, but it can impact you cognitively, how you think, your ability to reason, your ability to, um, take in new information, remember things. So, a lack of sleep, your sleep hygiene plays a very important role as far as, your risk of developing depression or your symptoms of depression. It plays a big role in decreasing that. You know, um, for some people, 6 hours is enough sleep, but for those of us who require more, 7 to 9 or 7 to 10 hours of recommended sleep, we need that. And we can do a few things to improve our sleep hygiene, such as going to bed at the same time, the temperature of our room, what we sleep in, turning off electronics, the temperature of our room, getting up at the same time every day. All of that helps to give us that deep restorative sleep that our body uses to renew itself, to restore itself. While we're sleeping, our body gets a chance to relax and to renew itself. But if we're not getting that sleep, nothing is being renewed physically or mentally or emotionally. The body is not able to recover and restore itself. So, sleep hygiene is very important. Number 5, sedentary behavior, which means behavior in which we're doing absolutely nothing. And I know with lupus, sometimes we have those periods when we're experiencing a flare where we do absolutely nothing for a few days so that we can recover. That's understandable. But for, weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months of months of not doing anything, such as just, watching TV, scrolling on social media, watching the news. I don't know about you, but there's not too many positive things happening on the news today. And so, if you're just taking that in all the time, no wonder, we feel depressed because everything is negative, negative, negative. Very seldom we get those few little flashes of positivity. And so that can cause you to feel depressed. But also with the sedentary lifestyle, um, it causes you to eat or crave more of those unhealthy snacks, the cookies, the cakes, the candy, the potato chips. I don't know about you, but when I'm just doing nothing but watching television, those commercials get me every time. In between the programming, they make sure to throw commercials about food in there. And it used to cause me to get up and go to the refrigerator, several times while I'm watching a TV program. It would just drive me to go to the refrigerator. It would drive me to crave those comfort foods, those foods that really weren't good for me, that I had no business eating. And I tell you something, it was so funny because the same thing that was in the refrigerator 15 minutes ago was still in the refrigerator when I got up and checked the refrigerator like 5 times while just, watching TV or scrolling through social media. So sedentary behaviors cause us to crave comfort foods, and we try to, our body craves those comfort foods so that we can feel better, but it ends up making us feel worse. And also, you know what they say, a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. So that sedentary lifestyle and craving those comfort foods and increasing the intake of those comfort foods, it can, it does what it does, which causes us to add inches to our waist. It causes us to put on weight, and we don't feel better. We don't feel better at all when we're leading a sedentary lifestyle, when we're not doing something to occupy our mind, a new hobby, a crossword puzzle, gardening, doing something to stay active. We don't feel better, It brings our mood down when we're sedentary. And our bodies are not meant to just sit around and do nothing. These bodies were created to move. A body in motion stays in motion. And our bodies were created to move. Number 6, social connectedness. We need that. We're social beings by nature. We need to feel connected, to be able to live, laugh, and love with others, to share, to feel like we belong. And so it's very important to stay connected to family members, friends, neighbors, some sort of a community where you feel that you belong, where you feel supported, whether it's, by calling someone on the telephone just to talk, or doing a duo video, a video chat, or, attending some sort of a support group, whether in person or, via a video connection. Just being able to feel connected, because guess what? Isolation causes depression. And so even with all this technology where we are supposed to feel more connected, we feel more isolated than ever. And coming out of the pandemic, people know, that's why people are so excited about things opening up and getting back to normal, because we knew, we understood now how it feels to be isolated from our loved ones, to be isolated from our friends. So it's very important to feel connected, to feel supported, because isolation increases feelings of depression and the chances of developing depression. And last but not least is alcohol consumption. Alcohol consumption increases your chance or your risk of developing depression. And studies show that just drinking alcohol in moderation can decrease your chances of developing depression and decrease your symptoms of depression. So drinking in moderation makes a big difference. So that's all I have for tonight. Like I say at the end of every video, there is life after lupus. God loves you. He always has, with all of his heart. He has a plan, a purpose, and a destiny for you that involves you showing up as you. Stay blessed, stay encouraged, stay strong, and I'll talk to you all soon on the next video. Bye for now, my friends.